Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Alice English podcast. I'm your host, Alice Sophia, and I'm really happy you are here today. Quick question for you. Who do you talk to every day, and what do you usually say? Sounds simple, right? But are you always using the right words? Many English learners feel confused with small words like who, what, which, whose, and whom. They are short, but they can change the whole meaning of a sentence. So today, we will not just learn these words, we will use them naturally in real conversation. No difficult grammar, no boring rules, just simple English, real situations, and clear understanding. And to help us today, we have a very special guest. He is an English teacher, and he makes difficult English very simple. Welcome to the show, Robert.
Hello, Alice. Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here.
We're happy to have you, Robert. So today's topic is good communication in daily life. We will talk about how we speak, who we speak to, what we say, and which words we choose.
And dear listeners, listen carefully because you will learn these confusing words in a very natural way.
So relax, listen, and try to notice how we use these words.
All right, let's begin with part 1.
Robert, let's start simple. What is the difference between these words?
Let's start with who and what. We use who for people. Who is she? And we use what for things or information. What is this?
Oh, so who means a person and what means a thing.
Exactly.
That's easy to remember.
Let me give you a few more examples. Who is your best friend? What is your favorite food? Who is at the door? What is in your bag? See, very simple.
So, Robert, in daily life, we meet many people. Who do we usually talk to every day?
Good question, Alice. We talk to many people, family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers sometimes.
Yes, that's true. We talk to many people, but sometimes we don't think about what we say.
Exactly. Good communication is not only about who we talk to, but also about what we say.
So, Robert, what should we say to people in daily life?
We should say simple and clear things. For example, hello, how are you? What are you doing? Can I help you?
These are very simple sentences.
Yes, and simple English is powerful. When you know who you are talking to and what you want to say, your message becomes clear.
Dear listeners, think about this. Who do you talk to the most in your day? And what do you usually say to them?
This is very important. If you understand who you are speaking to, you can choose better words.
For example, who is your best friend and what do you talk about?
That's a very nice example, Alice. You used both words perfectly.
Thank you.
So, dear listeners, remember this. Always think, who are you talking to and what do you want to say?
Yes, and when you understand these two things, communication becomes easy.
Great. Now let's move to part 2, where we talk about choices and which words to use.
So, Robert, now we understand who we talk to and what we say, but sometimes I feel confused when I have to choose words. Like, which word should I use?
That's a very good point, Alice. In part 2, we focus on which and what. We use which when we have a choice, a limited number of options. Which color do you like, red or blue? And we use what when there are many options or no clear choice. What is your favorite color?
Oh, so which is for choice and what is more general?
Exactly. Very good.
Dear listeners, think about this. Which words do you use when you speak English? And what do you usually say in daily conversations?
This is very important because communication is not only about speaking, it is also about choosing the right words.
So, Robert, how can we choose better words?
First, think about the situation. Then think about the person. And then choose which words are simple and clear.
So we should not use difficult English all the time.
Exactly. Simple English is better. Clear words, clear message.
For example, which movie do you like and what is it about?
That's a great example, Alice. You used both which and what very naturally.
Thank you.
So, dear listeners, remember this. Use which when you have a choice, and use what when the choice is open.
Yes, and when we choose the right words, our communication becomes more clear and confident.
Great. Now let's move to part 3, where we talk about people in more detail, using who, whom, and what.
So, Robert, now we can choose better words. But sometimes I get confused when I talk about people. Should I say who or whom? And how do I use what in the same sentence?
That's a very common question, Alice. In part 3, we focus on who, whom, and what. Let's make it easy. We use who as the subject, the person doing the action. Who is calling you? And we use whom as the object, the person receiving the action. Whom did you call? And what, as you know, is for things or information. What did you say?
Oh, so who is the doer and whom is the receiver?
Exactly. That's a simple way to remember.
Dear listeners, listen carefully. Who do you talk to every day and whom do you call the most? And what do you usually talk about?
Very good questions. When you use these words correctly, your English sounds more clear and natural.
But Robert, many people don't use whom in daily speaking, right?
Yes, that's true. In daily conversation, many people use who instead of whom. But in formal English, whom is still important.
So I should understand it even if I don't use it all the time.
Exactly. That's the best approach.
For example, who is your best friend, whom do you trust the most, and what do you talk about together?
That's an excellent example, Alice. You used all 3 words very clearly and naturally.
Thank you.
So, dear listeners, remember this. Who for the subject, whom for the object, and what for information.
Yes, and when we understand these small differences, our English becomes stronger.
Great. Now let's move to part 4, where we talk about responsibility and respect, using more of these words together.
So, Robert, now we understand people, choices, and how to talk about them. But communication is not only about words, right? It is also about responsibility and respect.
Yes, absolutely, Alice. In part 4, we talk about responsibility in communication, using whose, who, which, and what.
Whose sounds a little tricky. What does it mean exactly?
Good question. We use whose to show possession, to ask about ownership. Whose book is this?
Oh, so it means who owns it.
Exactly.
Dear listeners, think about this. Whose responsibility is good communication? Is it only the speaker or also the listener?
Very important question. Good communication is everyone's responsibility. Who is speaking and who is listening both matter.
So, Robert, which behavior is better in communication?
Simple, practical behavior is always better. Listen carefully, speak politely, and think about what you say.
Yes, sometimes people speak quickly, but they don't think about what they are saying.
That's true. So always ask yourself, what am I saying? Which words am I choosing? And whose feelings can be affected?
That's very powerful.
Yes, small words, big impact.
For example, whose idea is this? Who suggested it? Which option is better? And what should we do next?
That's an excellent example, Alice. You used all 4 words very clearly and naturally.
Thank you.
So, dear listeners, remember this. Think about whose responsibility it is, who is involved, which choice is better, and what you want to say.
Yes, and when we think like this, our communication becomes respectful and clear.
Great. Now let's move on to part 5, where we bring all 5 words together in real conversation.
So, Robert, we have talked about people, choices, information, and responsibility. Now I feel more confident. But can we use all these words together in real conversation?
That's a great question, Alice. Yes, in Part 5, we will use all 5 words together: who, whose, whom, what, and which.
That sounds interesting and a little challenging too.
Don't worry, we will keep it simple.
Dear listeners, now listen carefully. Try to notice how we use all these words in one conversation.
For example, who is your teacher? Whose class do you enjoy the most? Whom do you ask for help? What do you learn? And which topic do you like best?
Oh, that sounds like a real conversation.
Yes, and you can use it in daily life.
Let me try one. Who is your best friend? Whose advice do you follow? Whom do you trust the most? What do you talk about? And which activity do you enjoy together?
That's excellent, Alice. You used all 5 words very naturally.
Thank you. I feel more confident now.
That's the goal. When you practice like this, your English becomes more fluent and natural.
Dear listeners, now it's your turn. Try to make your own sentences using all 5 words. Start simple, speak slowly, and don't worry about mistakes.
Yes, and always think, who are you talking to? Whose idea are you discussing? Whom are you speaking about? What do you want to say? And which words are best for that situation?
That's a complete way to communicate clearly.
Exactly. And with practice, it becomes easy.
All right, what a beautiful learning journey today.
Yes, we started with confusion and ended with confidence.
Thank you so much, Robert, for making these words so simple and clear.
Thank you, Alice, and well done to you too for guiding this conversation so beautifully.
And dear listeners, thank you for staying with us till the end. We hope you learned something valuable today.
Now it's your turn. Try using who, whose, whom, what, and which in your daily life.
If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to the Alice English podcast.
And don't forget to comment your examples. We would love to read them.
Keep practicing, speak simple English, and stay confident.
See you in the next episode. Goodbye.